All right, you guys, so I just got in the car to head home, and it occurred to me that I'm not sure we used the proper dialect or explained or clarified what kind of readings we were doing for you later on in the episode. We even called it the wrong thing. So, long story short, we are approaching the beginning of the new year, which begins around the spring equinox. And this has to do with more the lunar calendar and everything. And so we just had on March 7th, the last full moon from the previous year before the new year starts. It's called the worm moon, and it is when it's the last full moon of winter, when the soil begins to soften, the worms are able to move around, it's able to be fertilized, and it's softer. And yeah, so it can be what do you call it? Not vegetized. Um, Whatever, you get what I'm saying. Uh, you can start planting things. Um, so I wanted to clarify because I think in the actual podcast later, we call it the Lunar New Year or the Lunar Cycle or something. That's, I don't even know if that's the proper wording for this. I know there's a Chinese Lunar New Year that starts in January, and I just didn't want to confuse anybody. So I wanted to hop on here, give you guys a quick note. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the new year beginning at the equinox, and this being the last full moon. So we were like, let's pull some cards for each of the zodiac signs based on their elements, and you know, give some psychic intuitive mediumship messages of what this next year can look like. And it was actually really cool. It was their collective messages based on earth, air, fire, and water signs for the next year. And it has to do with the new year that we're approaching. Okay. So if you're confused listening later on in the podcast, remember that I gave you this clarification and I apologize. Please bear with us. As you'll hear in the podcast, we are completely wiped out from our trip to Austin for WitchFest. So yeah, just wanted to hop on real quick. We love you so much, and thanks for hanging out with us. And I think you'll like this one. We're pretty much just chatting and talking about random stuff that happened over the last week, and we had a really crazy run-in with a crazy experience with a reader that we met and some people that stopped by the booth. It was a lot of fun. So I hope you guys enjoy this. And yeah, I will begin the actual podcast now. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Christian Witch Podcast. I'm your host, Chosen, also known as at Christian Witch HTX over on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. You can also find me on Twitter at Christian Witch X. And yeah, for those of you who don't know, obviously my name's Chosen, but I am a certified professional psychic medium. I own a training academy called the Elysium Academy of Mystical Arts, where I train people in witchcraft, healing, psychic development. We have new courses coming later this spring on healing just by itself, and then mediumship, which I'm very excited about. People have been asking me for this one. I forgot what else I do, but long story short, I love you guys. I love to talk. I love to be here, and I'm slightly brain dead from our trip this week. So let's let my co-host introduce herself. Lux, take it away.
Hey guys, I'm Lux with Intuitive Therapy by Lux. You can find me on Instagram at Lux Intuitive Therapy, and my Intuitive Therapy by Lux Facebook page, as well as my website, which is luxintuitivetherapy.com. Honestly, the website's kind of the landing page for everything. I have my own podcast on there as well, but I'm post on there in a minute. And yeah, I'm brain dead as well. I'm a psychic medium, just like Chosen here is, for to mention that, along with a bunch of other things too. Ordained minister.
Oh yeah, same here.
Metaphysical practitioner.
Not same here. I'm not that.
All the things. It took me at least 2 days to recover from this weekend. So.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be telling you guys about our trip to WitchFest in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. We have a new round of the 15-week training on witchcraft, healing, and psychic development starting on March 20th. That is about a week and a half away. 2 weeks maybe. Not 2 weeks. It's definitely not 2 weeks. It's like 12 days. But anyways, I get messages all the time, and there's only so many students I can take per cycle. So if you guys are interested, you can save $40 off the tuition by signing up now. If you are going through financial hardship, feel free to read the website at christianwitchhtx.com and reach out and let me know. Obviously, I'll know if you're trying to scam me. I'm a psychic medium, but I do work with people, and this is not a cash grab. So if you are genuinely interested in leveling up, doing the work, really, putting in and receiving from this education process, I'm not going to let money be a barrier for you. So, that being said, oh, the cat is just ripping up all kinds of stuff in here. Get it, kitty? Um, anyways, so yeah, we're going to be talking about our trip to WitchFest in Austin, and we're also going to be touching on the Lunar New Year. We thought we'd just do some readings and see what the year has in store. Yeah, so it's going to be a chill episode. So grab yourself a snack, or if you're driving, keep your hands on the wheel. And yeah, we'll be right back. Alrighty then. So, your face. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, we were at Austin Witch Fest 2023, getting sunburnt and windburnt. And we had a tent and everything, you guys. So for those of you who don't know, Austin Witch Fest is a festival hosted in Austin. And it was super cool, you guys. We were literally right across from Lilith Dorsey and Jason Mankey. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but those are famous authors in the metaphysical community. Emphasis on famous. But they're also like really, like, they're not nonsense authors who just had like a popular book. Like, they've been around for decades, and they have authentic practices. They're on the pagan side of things, which is, you know, fine. This podcast is not strictly Christian, you guys. Cats are just like living it up today. But that was really cool that they were there the whole time. But again, WitchFest is this huge festival of tons of vendors. They have rituals and workshops going on, and there are, you know, all these metaphysical shops and, you know, witchy related companies that come together and they host this festival. And we were there with Christian with HTX. I was doing psychic mediumship readings all day, back to back, which I love doing. But it was really cool. I got to meet some really interesting people. Lex had a few fun conversations.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What was that one guy? He was like, I don't know.
Which one?
I don't know. Which one? There's more?
Oh,
I feel like I still haven't heard all the stories because we've been like exhausted since we got back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also like the food in Austin.
It was bomb.
It was so bomb, especially for our little vegan hearts.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it was really easy to find like vegan or vegetarian.
Yeah, so good.
Really nice.
So good. I never liked Austin before this trip. No offense to Austin, but I've only ever been there for like quick little turnarounds.
Yeah.
Although one time I did get to sing in front of Demi Lovato and Britney Spears, so that was cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, they didn't comment on it, but they legally couldn't, so that's what we're sticking with. The internet did though. There was like hundreds of thousands of views, and then the X Factor like took it down because it was like a fan recorded video.
What?
Girl, I thought I was gonna make it.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'd
actually,
love to see that video.
I know. I think I might have downloaded it on an old MacBook, so maybe I can find it.
Lost or something?
No, I think I have it still. I don't know, but it was really cool. It was actually the first time I actually saw that, oh, people enjoy when I sing. They're not just tolerating me, because like the whole stadium went crazy. So,
wow. What song was it?
It was Demi Lovato's "Give Your Heart a Break." I sang it in front of her, and I hit the high note, and they went nuts. They were like, "What?" My friend that had been like my friend for years drove up there with me because we just went to sit in the audience and like see Brittany and Demi and all the people audition. And she was like, "That was what?" She was like, "What?" I was like, "Girl, we were in choir together." She was like, "Yeah, we never sang like that though." So it was really cool.
We can just throw, not right now if you don't want to, but we can throw in the music after this.
What music?
Give me a little Demi Lovato karaoke, okay?
Listen.
You can belt your heart out.
The day I... No, I'm just kidding. I'm not doing it. Oh, don't you come... You want to do a riff off?
What's that?
You told me you'd never fall in love, but now that I'm all off key because I can't breathe. Oh my God, we have to edit this. Anyways, okay, we're so off topic. Anyways, so Austin, the Witch Fest was so much fun. Weather was beautiful.
Yeah.
So cool and breezy, but I don't know what it was. It's like the sun, like the last 2 hours when it was just barely glimmering through our tent and hitting me in all the wrong places.
Yeah.
My lips took days to recover.
They're finally back to normal now.
I was coating them in like, I'm talking, I had hyaluronic acid. No, you did not.
Yeah, I did.
Oh no, I would like wash my face with hydrating stuff. I would put hyaluronic acid all over my face, but particularly my lips. And then I'd put like a really thick moisturizer. And then I would seal it with Vaseline because everything you cover with Vaseline is like sealed in there. I was like, no, we're getting all that moisture. it felt like the inside of my cheeks were also screwed up. I don't know how that works. Maybe it was just,
Wow.
maybe I just didn't feel good that day.
So for those who don't know what did you say?
Hyaluronic acid.
Don't know what that is. So what I did was use a little lip scrub. It was like an elf thing.
Well, we loved L Scrub. Is it the stick one?
Yeah, the stick one.
That's
and
classic.
then I just used some Aquaphor, and that cleared it up. So.
Okay, well, that was extremely harsh on your lips.
Not everybody's an esthetician.
Okay, well, they should be. No, I'm just kidding.
A makeup artist, a singer, pop star, like esthetician, singer with a 5-octave range. So, WitchFest.
Okay, yeah. What do you want to tell the people about WitchFest?
I mean,
anything?
I'll
tell you, I had a line. That's what I'll tell you. I was working there. I was trying to walk around and meet people and be nice. I had a line, which I'm so grateful for. Praise God. Yeah. Thank you, Lord. I genuinely love being a part of people's healing journeys. It was dead for that first hour and a half, and then bam, bam, bam. Yeah. Thank God we talked about making ourselves take a break, and you were just like, nope, you're getting a break.
Yeah, you got a 20-minute break in the end, because readings just sometimes Spirit has a lot to say, so they go over, and he was supposed to have an hour break, but it ended up being 20 minutes to scarf a peanut butter jelly sandwich down.
Which was so good.
Yeah.
I love a PB&J.
Dude, PB&J smacks.
It's
kind of warm,
slaps,
you're outside,
jams,
it's different, man.
bams, whams. It does all the things. It was so good.
All I did was, I just talked to a lot of people. It kind of people become a blur, to be honest. I know that sounds rude, but even people that I've put on the list, they'll come back up, and I'm like, we've met, right?
I've given deep, intimate readings with people and do not remember them.
I know.
Which is good though, because for those of you who don't know, I try not to remember my readings because I never want to be influenced by something I told you in the past.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think it's good. Also, it lets you know that you're kind of zoned into another source. You're not memorizing and taking things in and analyzing them. So that's a little life hack if you guys want to find an authentic medium. Not that you should just be testing them with random things, but
the biggest thing was that there was definitely a difference sitting on the grass.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah, definitely.
I wasn't even doing readings, but I pick up the energy of just the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And so usually by the end of the night, my heart's palpitating, I'm transmuting everyone's energy. I've interacted with so many people.
Because we're usually in a major city.
Exactly.
And on concrete, at a venue that has many people.
Right.
Where this was outside at Pioneer Farms, which is in Austin, but it was a field right on the outside of Austin.
Yeah.
So it did make a difference. I did notice that too.
Yeah, I felt it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the breeze was wonderful. Our tent kept trying to fly away. I keep saying tent. It's not like we had a camping tent from we had a canopy.
Wish we had a camping
Me
tent.
too.
A
I wish.
Or something
yes.
Wouldn't that be so mystical?
Oh my goodness, we should get one of those. We should. That'd be fun. I wanted to go say hi to Jason Mankey and mostly Lilith Dorsey. No offense to him, but I really wanted to say hi to them, and they left before I can get done with my final reading, but I couldn't rush it because she was having such a moment.
Yeah.
And I was just this is more important. But yeah.
That was cool.
They did look so bored. You were right.
They did look a little bored.
Yeah. But they also were leading workshops and classes, and I don't think people realized they were just sitting out there waiting to meet everybody too.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't really announced.
They should have announced that.
Well, it was for the vendors we knew because we had a list of the people and where they were. But anyways, yeah, it was fun though. We did meet some really cool people and networked. I got to network with the owner and manager from Yarrow and Sage in Austin. They're wonderful. They allowed me to put my cards out. She knew me. She had seen my brand before.
Wow.
Yeah, she allowed me to put my flyers up for the course that's starting on the 20th, and she has people asking for classes all the time. So she really needs somebody to refer them to. So I think honestly, this was a really good trip, but I didn't realize how tired I was till we got home.
Yeah, we were blowing and a-going. I didn't buy anything except for a piece of artwork. So I'm really impressed with myself. If y'all don't know Tom Rye, shout out to Tom Rye, dude. He does the coolest artwork, okay? It's Victorian style, but with animals, but in clothing. So just shout out,
Yeah, it is really cool.
Tom Rye.
Yeah, it really is really cool. The art that you've gotten from him is pretty on point. Like, and it's like you can recognize the brand because like when you came up with, I was like, oh, you got it from that person. And you were like, yeah.
It's incredibly unique.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm kind of an art snob.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. Just kidding. Oh, the cats are going crazy.
You're going to hear the cats in the background.
It's fine though. You love it. I love it. We all love it. It's fine. Oh, yeah, no, I was so tired when we got home. And I wasn't tired when we were there. Like the first night we got there, we hit all the metaphysical shops, checked into the hotel, went and saw all the metaphysical shops except for one. Next morning, we were up and at 'em at like 7 a.m. You just smile, which makes me feel like you realize something.
Yes, because remember I said we were going to do a podcast?
Yes, I just remembered. Let's be nice.
Okay, I'm not going to say anything. Okay, listen. Y'all
I gave them my card. I think they might listen to this.
Okay, just...
If you're listening, we love you. And this is because we love you.
And it is. And here's the thing. You guys reach out to us. Let us know if you really want to hear about this. But I wanted to do a podcast, obviously both of us, like on things to look out for a genuine reader. So like standards, because in the moment we can be really nervous to say anything. And I know that I am like, even as I'm a professional reader, so I at least know what to look for. But like, even in the moment, it's hard to kind of say like, hey, this isn't like what I was expecting or whatever. But I just wanted to do maybe an episode on like things to look out for, like proper etiquette. Like if you're charging, whether you're the reader or you're the client, like if you're being charged for reading or you're charging for readings, like there are certain things that you don't. There are do's and do nots. There's certain things you don't do. You just don't do.
And also like how to recognize when somebody's at the level that you should probably be receiving what they have to say. It's not like it's your friend practicing and trying to get bebetter.
Exactly.
If you're in a metaphysical store giving readings and somebody's asking you what you think the cards are saying.
Right. I mean, it's just like there's a huge difference between like professionality, like being a professional, and like professional means you are charging for a service. You are accepting payment for a service. That's you being a professional. So if that's what's going on, then you should be acting like a professional. This isn't like like you said, one friend to anher.
Yeah. And that stuff's fine, guys. Like you can practice with each other and all that stuff, but there are certain things that like if you don't know that it's not cool, then you don't know. Like people don't know what they don't know. So like if you don't know that it's not acceptable for a reader to ask you questions about your life or ask, hey, what are you going through? And then try to give you messages based on the information you gave them. That's conversational reading. We don't do that over here. Matter of fact, I told several people this last weekend. I said, when you sit in that chair, I'm running things. Like I have a tell, don't ask policy. So I don't need to hear any information about your situation. I'm saying it much more aggressive now, but I was nicer in person, you guys. But I don't need to hear any information about your situation. I'm giving you those messages. And if they line up, they line up. And if not, then at the end, you have time to ask me questions for what you want answers on that you didn't get already.
Yeah. And, when you're alone in your room or when you're like reading for a friend on party trick or like whatever you're doing, like it's fine to get out the little book, the little tarot book that comes with the deck, but in a professional setting, that's not okay. Yeah.
So like I had a reading once by somebody and they were trying to get their tarot business off the ground. And I was like, of course I'll support you and get, a $20 reading. Like, absolutely. They pulled cards for me and then said, okay, so we got this card. And they were like, okay. And then they pulled out the book they pulled out though was the worst. It was the Modern Witch's Guide to Tarot. Like those real aesthetically pleasing ones that all say the same thing. Okay. Anyways. And they would just flip through and they would read the definition like, okay, so does that resonate with you? Right. Not saying you can't do that on your own when you're learning.
No, that's how I started with my friends so that I could start picking up patterns and things that they were seeing in their life.
But charging money for it and claiming that you've been doing this your whole life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's obviously like not okay. One, because you're being dishonest with me. So there goes our trust right there.
Yeah.
Because I know better, but unfortunately people don't. So anyways, I forgot we were going to talk about that.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that.
Yeah, let us know if you guys want to hear like a a full podcast on like do's and do nots, like,
Yeah.
or like what a professional reading should kind of look like. I mean, everyone's going to do have a little bit different
Mm-hmm.
of a style, but there are some things that you can be like, oh no, like we obviously know this isn't something that's
Yeah.
gonna.
I mean, even like the thing is that tarot is considered like a high input divination device, and what that means is like there's a lot of front loading in terms of information. Like scrying is a low input, like very low. You don't have any information on the back end. It's just a mirror, right? Or it's
Mm-hmm.
just a water. So, but tarot and astrology and numerology, these are all high inputs. So you've got all of these symbols, all of these definitions, all of these meanings and things that you have on the front end to kind of help you through the reading. And, you don't have to you don't have to ever tap into your intuition at all. It
Mm-hmm.
makes the reading far better. I do believe you're supposed to be tapping into your intuition. I believe that you naturally start tapping into your intuition after a period of time with working with the deck anyway. But at least if you're going to be giving readings to people, at least know the definitions of the cards to where you have them memorized. Even if you haven't been trained to tap into psychic ability, is what I'm saying. Like
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to know how to tap into psychic ability, but you do need to then have the cards at least memorized or your
Yeah.
own way of
Mm-hmm.
symbolically understanding the pattern and seeing the pattern somehow. If you're not tapping intuition, that's fine, but you should still be able to put some sort of story together for the client that's going to give them a message. You should not be just defining the cards for the client and then saying, okay, now you put the story together.
Yeah.
That's not professional.
Yeah, and just for clarification, you guys, I know a lot of my listeners have heard me say this before. Like, I do not know the traditional meanings of the cards, but I am channeling the entire time. I am a professional psychic medium, and when I do tarot readings, I even tell my clients, I'm like, hey, listen, the way this works is that I am channeling these messages. So if you're looking for someone, or if you're, just, if you practice the original tarot like tradition, this is not what this is going to look like.
Right.
The thing about it that you've confirmed a lot for me, because you help me out at a lot of my events, and
Mhm.
you tell me, you're like, what do you tell me? You're like,
Yeah, I
you don't
peek over my
understand.
shoulder.
You're like, I don't understand how you get the same messages.
Yeah,
A lot of the
you're
times,
getting them. They're coming
yeah.
through.
So like the messages come through, but I don't know the symbols and what they
Well,
mean.
that's the proper way to do it because the tarot is a huge symbol base that's been in our collective conscious for so long. So if you're
Mhm.
genuinely tapped in to the tradition of the tarot,
Mhm.
you're genuinely tapped into the astral realm. Just looking at the cards intuitively and symbolically, like those messages are going to come through. So like
Yeah.
if you're full-fledged trained in psychic ability, you're tapped into your intuition. No, you do not have to commit to memory the tarot
Yeah.
cards. But
And that's what I wanted to clarify is that if you're not tapped in,
right,
you need to understand that way you can
exactly,
interpret and memorize however your system works.
exactly. You have
That
to do
way,
something here. You have to do something. You have to
yeah.
know the cards. You need to be trained in psychic ability, but you don't not know the cards and then read out of the book and then charge someone for that.
Yeah.
That is something that they could do themselves. Anyone can go pick up a tarot deck from whichever store and do that, deal the cards out for themselves and read the cards out of the book. They can do that for themselves. They don't need to pay you $20. What are they paying you for? They're paying you because they're expecting you to have tapped into your intuition or at least been reading the cards long enough to pick up patterns that they're not used to seeing.
Correct.
Something.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to like really look at like ethical readings and just the ethics of this genuinely.
Yeah.
I mean,
and there's a lot of people who are not in this for the right purposes. There's a lot of people that are in this because they know there's quick money.
Yeah.
And which is funny because those of us who are doing it for genuine purposes will not scam people. And therefore, it's not always quick money.
Yeah.
Now, Spirit always brings what we need. And, I'm blessed that I have not gone without since moving into this full time. I mean, but yeah, and here's the deal. There's more than enough light work for everyone.
Yeah.
But it's just funny because it's those people that are out to scam.
Yeah.
I almost feel like it's a vibrational thing. It's like you attract your audience. And another reason we charge for readings is there's this principle of exchange. But like one of my mentors in the past, they said, it was like, there's moments in your life where spirit tells you to up your price, and and you realize the quality of readings improves too. And I feel like it has to do with these people are genuinely looking for healing, and it's like they're genuinely able to receive, so you're able to genuinely channel those messages.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, we should always be channeling genuinely from the highest healing places. So it's like, what are they able to receive is what spirit will let them receive,
Yeah.
And there's also moments where like they're just mind blown in general and they
Yeah.
have to record it. So
Yeah. Well, someone's got to say this kind of thing though, because like, I mean, I would not call what I experienced a scam at all. I would not,
yeah,
because honestly, like this is going to sound harsh, but there wasn't even any training in the art of scamming.
yeah.
Because I've been to a con artist before. I've been to somebody who quote unquote reads palms, right? And she like,
we should go see her.
she said the things that she needed to say to work in a message, to work in a story, to try to elicit some sort of emotional fear response from me so that I would continue to come back to her. But she still played herself off as a genuine psychic. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, and she actually, a good scam artist can tap into their intuition a little bit and glean information off of you so that they win your confidence. They're just in it for crappy motives.
You should offer a course on how to scam people. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but we should offer something, because it's like if you're not going to be in it for genuine purposes, my God, at least get in it to scam people and scam people right. At least give them what they're expecting, give them what they're looking for, but don't sit up there with a freaking book.
Not the scam.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was blown away because
my gosh, yeah. She's kidding, you guys. Not the scam, you guys. Oh my God. Yeah. So
who's training these people anymore? Nobody's being trained. They're not being trained for good or for better or for worse. Just across the board, nobody is being trained, and someone has to say it. I'm so tired of like, oh, everybody just has their own practice and everybody can do what the heck they want to do, and that's what they're doing. And it's like, no, if you're charging people, you need to be tapped in.
Yeah,
you need to be, or at least know what the cards like mean, or your own symbol system. I don't care, but you've got to be giving messages somehow.
Yeah, like I agree. There has to be purpose.
It's beyond the point of saying this is just one person's way of doing things.
Yeah, no, that's not it.
It's not going to fly.
It's not going to fly. It's not. Oh yeah. So
it gets me fired up because like genuine readers get a bad rap. Uh-huh. Like we're getting a bad rap about this. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know. It's annoying.
Yeah.
It's almost more annoying than the people like on Instagram making fake profiles about me, like messaging people. Like
Grand Rising.
Yeah, Grand Rising, Starseed.
Yeah,
allow me to give you a reading for $500.
Your family cursed you or something.
Oh my gosh, this, and like it's.
At least they know what to say that elicits an emotional response. It's like, oh no, really?
Stop.
Did you see what I'm saying?
Okay, we're going to offer a new course as well at the Elysium Academy coming this summer, how to recognize a scam artist.
Yeah, that'd be a good course too. But I mean,
actually, we should do a master class.
There's not even anyone out here saying what is to be expected for a genuine reading. Like anything is going for what a reading is now, apparently.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, at least be empathic and nice and just say something sweet to someone, you know? I can tell you're a sensitive soul. Oh my goodness, that'll open them right up.
Yeah.
Okay, so
there wasn't even any.
We're being slightly petty.
I'm being serious.
Well, I was being petty. I'm sorry. I was being petty.
I forgive you.
Thank you. I appreciate your forgiveness. That is very kind of you.
You too.
Oh, the Lord's not judging or condemning me to begin with.
That's right. That's right.
So no, I'm just kidding. So back to Austin WitchFest. It was wonderful. We had a blast. I was gonna have you talk about that guy that gave you like y'all had like a conversation. You were like
the one that got cut short.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm not sure I remember both of them, so why don't you just tell me the funniest one?
Okay,
You
so
guys have to understand, I take people that I trust, that I know understand what I'm doing, and she is signing people in, and I am working the entire time. So, like, it's very rare that I hear what someone's saying or what,
you heard what he was talking about.
no. Well, if I'm thinking about the right one, I think so, for a moment or
It's
two.
the guy early on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting up there at the front, right? And we're barely getting any clients at this point. I think he's with one client, right? The first one or second one or
Mm-hmm.
something
Yeah,
like
it's like
that.
the beginning of the festival. People
Yeah.
are making the rounds.
And I'm looking for customers, smiling at people. Hi, how are you doing? As people are walking by and stuff. And I see him like 15 yards off, right? And
Felt them coming.
he's making this like face at our sign. Like like I've never seen someone sneer in real life.
What does sneer look like?
Like,
Oh.
do you know what I'm saying? Like it's like the eyes were like squinted, lips slightly pursed, like yeah, kind of
Oh my
like
goodness.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, you know what I'm saying? And so I engaged him because I'm sitting here thinking, did he get dropped off from Stupid Town? Like, where do you think that you are? Yes, you're at Austin WitchFest, and there is a psychic medium here at Austin WitchFest. Who would have thunk? Like, what? So I engaged him, and I was like, hey, man, like, how are you? Whatever. And he comes over, and we start getting into a conversation, and long story short, he starts asking me about things. He starts talking in circles. He starts describing what I believe, what I was led to believe. It sounded like he was describing clairvoyance. It sounded like he was describing people seeing things with the mind's eye, and talking about like that image being superimposed onto reality and blah blah blah. And I was genuinely confused, so I did not mean to cop an attitude with this person. Sorry, but like I literally was like, looked at him and I was like, clairvoyance. But like I was genuinely like asking a question, like, is that what you're talking about? Like clairvoyance? Like what? And he was like, looked at me like I had 5 heads. Like he had never heard that word before. And I was like, yeah, clairvoyance means clear seeing. You're talking about seeing images with the mind's eye, correct? And he said a bunch of things that I didn't understand, and then asked me a question, like basically to explain further. And I said, okay. I started explaining like how we have these different senses, and that we have the mind's ear and the mind's feeling and the mind's smelling, like all this, the clairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, okay, well, I'm, that was a lot of information, and I'm really just focused on more of like the anthropological, psychological aspects of this. And I was like, great, I'm explaining it to you. And he started saying like, I'm really just interested in like how the metaphysics of like ESP and everything. And I was like,
I'm explaining it to you.
I'm explaining it to you right now. And then he goes, I don't know if you know this, but, and I lost it.
Oh my god.
Oh,
what did he say
God.
when he said, I don't know if you know this?
I don't know if you know this, but, and I was like, okay, how do you even look at the anthropology of what?
Mm-hmm.
Of what? And it's like, yeah, I took anthropology in college too, bro. So anyway, long story short, I gave him a lot of, honestly, a crash course, like some great free information and everything like that. He had no idea what I was talking about. Finally, his final question was like, well, wouldn't you say basically that people who are able to superimpose the images of the mind's eye have more powerful of like some sort of ability? And I was like, no. It literally does not matter if people are superimposing the image or people are seeing it in their mind's eye. It's literally both clairvoyance. It's the same thing. And I don't know why you're working so hard to superimpose the image. If it just happens for you and your brain just does that, great, excellent, cool. Okay.
Yeah, but you don't have to do that.
You don't have to do that. When people talk about seeing spirits or seeing auras like in real life, like that's great. But if you can see them in your mind's eye, you're literally both seeing them in the mind's eye. Like your physical eye is not picking up these things.
Yeah.
It's your mind's eye across the board, and it's being transposed or superimposed onto reality. If that's happening for you, freaking great. But you don't have to work towards that as your goal. That doesn't mean that your powers or abilities are so strong out of this world. It literally means nothing. In fact, superimposing things onto reality limits what your mind's eye can do. Because if it's in your head, you can imagine anything. I can go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But like when it's superimposed on reality, your brain immediately goes, okay, I gotta see something that makes sense here. So it will block out everything out that doesn't make sense. So anyway, we had like a really great conversation. I ended up having to like take care of another customer or whatever, and he ended up walking off.
Didn't he question your title?
Oh God, yes. So anyway, once he said, I don't know if you know this, but then he started saying something about metaphysics and everything, and I was like, great, I'm a metaphysician. And he was like, you say that like it's some sort of title. And I was like, it is. And like I tried so hard not to cop an attitude, but I was like, it is. He was like, how? And I was like, I went to college for it. He was like, where? And I was like, the University of Sedona in Arizona. It's called the University of Metaphysics. I have a bachelor's degree in metaphysical science. He was like, wow, do you have some contact information? And I was like, yeah, I have a website. Here it is.
Yeah, that guy.
Shout out to that guy if you're listening.
Yeah, shout out to that guy if you're listening. We hope you're doing well.
I hope you're doing well. I wish you the best. I'm sorry if I was like
We're also not being hateful, you guys. Like, we're just, listen, we're human. We have to laugh about these things too.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways.
I don't think he expected me to be like college educated or something. I think he expected to just come up and say the word anthropological and I was going to be blown the hell away.
Oh my gosh, I have to change the battery on this. Hold on one second, you guys. Okay, I got the battery changed. So yeah, shout out to that guy. He really did seem like, just from the glimpse I caught of him, looked like the kind of guy that was just like Mr. Talkative, using the big words, like, but then all of a sudden you had your own big words. And he was like, what?
Oh no, people do not expect me to be intelligent.
Me neither.
I don't know why, but if you want to get into an like an intellectual pissing contest, I'm right there with you, babe. Let's do it.
We also saw that this weekend too.
Yeah,
I try my best not to. Yeah,
I really do.
To the point where I think it may come across like I'm dumb sometimes.
Sometimes I play dumb, I'm not gonna lie.
I don't want to play dumb. I'm like, I have to be looking like I'm dumb at least, because I'm not talking.
No, sometimes like someone will be talking about something that I like know that they're fired up about, and I like know literally everything about the topic, and I'd be like, no, like tell me more about that. I'd love to hear about that. Like, and I just, because I don't want to just shut them down and be like, I literally know more than you. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of act like, oh, that's so interesting.
Humility can be nice.
Is that what I'm doing?
Being humble, not shutting them down. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
I was being sarcastic just there. I was playing with you. I was like, yeah, a little humility wouldn't hurt, but yeah. I'm kidding. Obviously, I know you're a nice, humble person.
No, you're right. I definitely try to keep my ego out of it a lot of times.
Yeah.
We just know a lot.
I know. It's to the point, like, I don't even know what to offer and tell people anymore. Like, when people are like, do you want to, talk about something? I literally don't even know where to begin, because I'm just like, there's so much information.
Yeah.
There's so much we could possibly talk about. Like, what do you possibly want to hear about?
Yes.
And like, I
get the same, I have the exact same things. And this is what I tell these people. They're like, oh, recommend me a book. I'm like, you understand I have 120 books on my bookshelf right now.
And they're the ones we like.
300 in the drive, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
This is what I tell them. I say, listen, we're in a forest. And you're asking me to show you a tree.
Exactly.
Okay, you need to tell me what kind of fruit you'd like to eat. And then I can point you in the right direction. If you don't know what kind of fruit you want to eat, and they're like, oh, just like beginner fruit. I'm like, beginner with what?
Yeah.
Because I've studied occultism, New Thought, Christian Science.
All kinds of stuff.
Metaphysics. You have to let me know.
Yeah. Beginner, what do you want to begin?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, and I don't know if people grasp this, but like, I'm a professional psychic medium and a professional witch and magician. Like, I don't just outright say that all the time. Maybe I should start, but I
don't either.
But like, most witches don't claim to be psychic mediums, and if they do, it's a dedicated service that they do.
Mm-hmm.
So like, when people ask me like for beginner stuff, I feel like I'm and thankfully uniquely positioned to be like, okay, like tell me what you kind of want to learn, and like I'm able to say, okay, then you should go do X, Y, and Z, which is what you're saying as well. Like you're in that same position. But there's been other people where, for instance, like there's some people at my favorite metaphysical shop, or one of them, excuse me, and like I'll just be like, yeah, got any book recommendations? And like I'll say something like absent-minded, like when people say, oh, for beginners or something,
Mm.
I'll say something like, I don't know, I don't even know right now, but like I'll just say something, and like one of the people will be like, oh yeah, I never really got into all of that. But I'm like, you have so much knowledge about all this other stuff, and like I understand that it all comes down to energy,
Yeah.
but it just reminds us like, oh, like there really are people out there that never touch psychic mediumship,
Yeah.
energy work, shamanism, witchcraft,
Yeah.
herbalism, the
One of
Kabbalah.
my favorite occultists on TikTok. I asked him the other day. I was like, "Hey, what's your big three? Sun, Moon, Rising?" And he was like, "Oh, I don't even know. I've never gotten into astrology." And I was like,
What?
"What?
Isn't that a little fishy?
How? I don't know. I don't know. He's a grimoire magician. He's a hermeticist. So I was like, it's definitely possible that he's spent a lot of time studying hermeticism. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I always try to just give people the benefit of the doubt. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Because he is very knowledgeable.
That reminds me, I saw a
But
book
just specific
recommendation.
things though.
Oh,
We're kind
yeah.
of like I I don't feel like I'm a jack of all trades, master of none.
I don't either. I feel like and I feel like that phrase is not accurate in a lot of the
I
times.
mean, I I'm not a master of anything yet because you have to practice something for what, like 10 years or something like that. I just haven't been doing this for 10 years yet, but I'm well on my way to mastering things. I just
Yeah.
like I go where my gut takes me, literally. So
Yeah.
like I went down an alchemy rabbit hole. I went down a hermetic rabbit hole. I went down the Golden Dawn rabbit hole. Now I'm going, what am I learning right now? Oh, I've been on a Kabbalah kick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I went down like the sacred languages. I even thought about learning seriously like ancient Hebrew, ancient Greek. Like I thought about,
Mhm.
I'm working on like talismanic magic right
Yeah.
now. I'm about to
You're
get into
really good.
folk magic actually because
I've been drawn to that lately.
so I'm
It's so funny. We both keep getting drawn to the same main topics, but then like
that's what I'm about to crack open the outer temple of witchcraft here in a minute because that's the whole realm of Netchsack
mhm.
is the natural folk magic and things like
Mhm.
that. So I'm about to start getting into that.
That's not in that one.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Who did?
Yeah, he said literally all the magic because he goes over what magic is included with that
Okay.
sphere.
Yeah. Okay. So he's specifically saying like you'll learn these things in that book.
Yeah, he said
Okay.
all the
Gotcha.
magic included in the outer temple falls into this sphere.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. So
That's a good way to find your way around. Is honestly climbing up the tree of life.
mhm.
Like,
well, see, that's another thing is like we talked about this before. Like also like I don't hear my voice in my head. Like I don't hear my thoughts, and so
you
like
don't have an inner monologue?
no, we've talked about this. You have the same reaction every time.
How do you not have an inner monologue?
I don't hear my voice.
But you're clairaudient?
Yeah. Like I can hear it like if I'm asking something
What
specific.
about when you're reading?
When I'm reading, it's like I hear like I either hear myself begin to tell them something, but it's not a constant thing.
No. I mean when you're reading a book.
Oh, no. So when I'm reading a book, the only time I hear it is if I'm specifically doing it on purpose. So like if I'm reading this right here, I'm not hearing my voice, but if I slow down and I like try to sound out the words in my head, I can hear it. Or like if I'm applying a character accent to something. When I say slow down, I'm not talking about like third grade reading level. I'm like I'm reading at a normal pace, but
So like when we're talking right now, I had like 4 or 5 thoughts come up and they were like in my head.
mm-hmm.
And it's like someone said them to me in the back of my mind.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Do they come up as images or something?
I don't know. I really think I need to see someone and ask them like what are I know, but like there's got to be like they have to have like some sort of like range or spectrum of like this is how some people's minds work and help me understand it. But like I don't know. I can hear me talking right now.
Well, it's because you're talking.
I know, obviously, but like there's times where I'm talking and because I don't have an inner monologue, it's like I'm not. It's like I can't hear what I'm saying sometimes, and I'm like, am I even saying anything that makes sense? Like I often say that I'm like, does this make sense? Like, am I even answering your question? Because I just realized that I'm ranting, but like I don't.
Well, what if
Anyways,
you're just channeling all the time? Because that's how
I
I
would
am when
be.
I'm channeling. My inner monologue goes away. That's how I know I'm channeling.
I mean, that would be. I mean, I guess it's possible, but I feel like from the things we like, the physical things that it kicks in,
Yeah.
that I would be skin and bones if I was channeling nonstop.
Yeah.
Um, but for me, I don't know. Like I see things, I'll recall things in my head, and like I can like recall like other people's voices, or um, like for instance, like I used to have this mentor, and like when I first started doing
Readings.
readings, I would often hear their voice start to give the message almost,
Yeah.
and it was almost like that's how I would listen to my guide, just because I trusted that person's voice,
Yeah.
and so I would listen to that. But anyways, moving on. Yeah, I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
Well, okay, so my like they call it
Oh, the inner monologue.
the monkey brain in Zen. I believe
Mm-hmm.
it's Zen. It's not a good thing,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like this mind chatter. It's noise, and I know that my mind chatter and noise used to be it's the inner monologue, right? But it's really not a
Mm-hmm.
monologue. It's like a bumblebee nest, like a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of people talking at once, and it's just noisy as hell. And it's super annoying.
Really?
Yeah, it causes a lot of mental illness, to be honest. And this is not clairaudience.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
No, no.
Probably some of it is,
Yeah.
to be honest. But anyway, once I got healed and I started doing inner work and I started processing my trauma and I started actually like sitting with my emotions instead of compartmentalizing them and being a productive member of society, like and getting peace, inner peace. Once I
Mm-hmm.
got inner peace, that mind chatter went down. Like my inner
Yeah.
monologue on the whole stopped. Now I only have these fleeting thoughts that are coming in through my head,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not like this constant.
Yeah, every now and then I'll hear something. Like I'll hear my voice
Right.
every now and
Every
then.
now and then. That's how it is
Like
for me now.
like yesterday or the day before, like because I was so exhausted. Like when I
Yeah.
woke up, I could hear myself thinking. And actually, I kept hearing songs like playing in my head, and then I also would
Okay.
hear myself. I heard myself thinking, and then I woke up and I was like, "Huh, maybe I can only perceive things when like I'm in a different state of consciousness." Because also, when I've taken like herbal supplements for like deep relaxation or something, like let's say I'm like in muscle pain or something, or even if I've taken medication, let's say I've taken medication that
Yeah.
like like for instance, like there's been times where I've been in pain and had prescriptions for like muscle relaxers or something, and it slows down, and it's almost like I can sometimes hear my thoughts then.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally, this is so weird because yesterday I had this thought about talking to you about this, so it's funny we're bringing it up. um but I was like, what if I do have that all going on, but like I've learned to like step outside of it and like not pay
You
attention?
probably have. That's why I think
Because
yeah.
what came to mind was being taught in, well, in ministry I was taught first, and then also psychology when I went to college, and all the other books and training I've taken. But like the human mind is the only mind that we know of that has the ability to observe what's going on in its head and
Yes.
step outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like maybe that's what I've done.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm kind of gonna just be like, nope, blah blah
Well,
blah.
that's
Like,
how you alleviate monkey mind. That's what they call it.
mm.
That's the whole point of meditation, is to become the observer of the thoughts, but not the thought itself.
Yeah, but sometimes I feel like I don't have any thoughts.
That's good.
Is it?
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Then there's also like all these concepts of like, in ministry,
It
like,
sounds like you have inner peace to me.
well, and we talk about the supernatural power of a transformed mind,
Mm.
having the mind of Christ, taking every thought captive to that. And I feel like that plays a part in it too. But like, as much training and like growth and development I went through,
Yeah.
I also was dealing with a lot of trauma, like both religiously, emotionally, through familial stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there's things I don't remember. And there was times where I was sick, like where my adrenal glands and thyroid almost shut down, and I was just like literally don't remember things.
Yeah.
So I think there are certain concepts that, like, while I understood and benefited from them, I couldn't go back and teach on them,
Yeah.
or like even tell you where they came from.
So
So maybe you're right. Yeah.
mine flares up when like shit's going down. Like especially if I'm angry at somebody or somebody did something to
Mm-hmm.
me. like I'll start my mind. That's when the monkey mind will start. And it'll start
Mm,
like it's this inner monologue, and a lot of it's kind of nasty, and it gets kind of vindictive sometimes. Like, oh well, she did that, she shouldn't have, you know what I'm saying, or
yeah,
whatever. So like, but day to day, if I'm peaceful, I'm, healed, like I'm not dealing with any like anger or fear or anything like that, like, yeah, no, I don't have that inner monologue at
that's
all.
interesting.
But like when I'm in fear or in a stressful situation, or it's really when somebody's made me angry, because anger is my one of my number one like things that kind of tick me off, like get angry.
Mm-hmm.
I can't explain. Like it's a big emotion for me. Probably has something to do with my chart. But anyway, that's when that inner monologue will really start kicking in. Or if I'm in fear that I've done something wrong, it starts telling me all crazy types of stuff. That's when the self deprecation starts, and it's just nuts. So,
Yeah.
does that happen to you? Like when you're pissed?
I
Does it start
mean,
up when you're mad?
no, like, okay, so recently when I had that, like, when I had that person kind of go nuts on me out of
Yeah.
nowhere, and I started having like those trauma responses, like where I started
Yeah.
like my whole body and mind, everything just wanted to shut
You
down.
just get numb.
I heard like a thought came to my mind, but I don't remember hearing it. But a thought came to my mind, a concept of something,
Okay.
and I was just like, that is so evil. Like what? And it was an attack on me. It was like something about myself. It was a lie that was brought
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
and I totally believe that was a like I believe we're in a spiritual war all the time. I don't care what people say.
Yeah.
I don't care about what vibe you're on. Like we're in a spiritual war all the time, and if someone does something to you and like it's able to bring you down literally, like you're in a place where you're susceptible.
Mm.
And I believe that that was just an attack from the enemy. Um, and I'll share that thought with you later. Um, but like I didn't hear it,
Okay.
and it was like I observed it, and like I could see flashes of things,
Okay.
but like I wasn't hearing my thoughts. I wasn't hearing anyone's
So maybe you
voice.
just think a little bit. Maybe you just think differently. You think in concepts. You'd probably be good at
Maybe
Mandarin Chinese.
Mandarin and Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd be able to pronounce those words. Although I do like language.
Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. Drag me in the comments or whatever you need to do. But I'm pretty sure like each character in Mandarin is like a each character in Mandarin is like a concept. So like it's a whole word, or even
Hmm.
like a whole concept is wrapped into
Well, that's how it is with
one.
Hebrew.
One. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, there's like way less
In
letters.
Coptic, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like way less letters in Hebrew than there is in like our alphabet.
Mm,
And each letter means like 15 different things.
yeah.
So like in there, that's how we get mistranslations and all kinds of stuff. But
Yeah. A lot of the Chinese characters look like what they are. Like house, the character
oh,
actually it looks like it resembles a house.
oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yes.
When I was recently making cleaner notes on my Reiki symbols,
Mm-hmm.
I instinctively knew which direction to write them in. Even though like in the diagrams it'll show you like, it's
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4 or
Well, it's
whatever.
intuition.
But like it was intuition, but there were certain things that I feel like normally wouldn't you go over here, but like I knew it started over here. Anyways, these people are like, we have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, let's move over, guys, to so yeah, anyways, recapping, what have we talked about? WitchFest, the trip, the
Went off on a bunch of tangents
yeah,
that
about
no one cares about, probably.
readings and how to identify. Well, we didn't even go over how to identify, but just like we touched on that topic. Let us know if you want that episode. We'll probably do it whether you do or not, but
Yeah.
we'll put it on the list. But which fest was awesome. Austin was awesome. We had the best vegan brunch before we came home. Oh, so good. It was so good. And then yeah, everything was just wonderful. And we got home, then we're just exhausted. So what we wanted to do for the rest of the podcast is it is March 8th, and this will be going up tonight or tomorrow. But the Lunar New Year just restarted.
Lunar New Year.
And there was a super moon, and you may have felt that energy. It's supposed to be super powerful. And then we also have the equinox on the 20th. which is also the same day as the spring cycle of Elysium Academy kicking off. So if you want to do that, go to the website, christianwitchhdx.com. And then we have something called Heaven's Cross. It's a major planetary alignment that hasn't happened in a long, long time. And it's supposed to be signifying a consciousness shift. And there's supposed to be like more of an outpouring of the supernatural and whatever that means. So there's a lot going on. And for the start of the new year, we were just like, why don't we pull some cards and get some messages? So Lex, tell them how you're going to do this. You're going to pull these cards and read them.
Yeah.
And then just so you guys know, I'm also going to be, asking Spirit for a message for each one as well. So.
Okay. You know what we should do? I think that you should go first.
Okay.
And then I'll tell you what the card says and we'll see if it lines up.
Okay.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
It's okay if it doesn't. It could be just two.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think it would be interesting to see if they kind of come together. Anyway, I'm going to do one for each of the elements. So, your zodiac sign. I always do collective readings by my rising sign, but Chosen said that didn't really work for him. So
my moon sign worked.
If you want to pick up oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to pick up the messages, you know what I mean, for your big three or something like that. Here they go, so I'm just going to
also, I guess we should let people know that, because I don't know if people understand this, but your zodiac signs correspond to an element.
Oh, yes.
So they're divided in 4. So there's 3 months to each element?
Yes, there's 3 signs to each.
3 signs, I'm sorry, 3 signs to each element. So you have the fire signs, the water signs, the earth signs, and the air signs. Yeah. And you can Google those very quickly. We're not going to go over them.
Oh, I can.
Oh, you want to?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Okay, the first one I'm going to do is the earth signs. So that's Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo.
Hey, what are the water signs?
Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces, sorry. Here we go. Okay, so we're doing earth signs. Okay, earth signs. So this year...
Wait, I thought you wanted me to go first.
Sorry, I get really excited when this card comes out.
Well, maybe you should... Oh, this is definitely going to be a year of...
You're just going to read my card?
Wait, what? Yeah, sorry. I looked at the card and got excited. Okay. Hold on, Spirit. Don't give me that answer anymore. Okay, what are we doing? Earth signs?
Yeah.
Okay, earth signs for 2023 to 2024 lunar cycle. New ground. I feel like new ground is coming about. I feel like we are maybe exploring some concepts that maybe we weren't really sure about before. We could also be seeing things with newer insight than we had before. Refreshing almost or returning to certain things while also releasing certain things, which I feel like everyone says, like, obviously you're releasing things with a shift like this. But yeah, I feel like we're embarking upon new ground. And I feel like that could also mean like new stability for some people in a lot of ways, while also maybe finding new support in some ways, and also maybe finding new. When I say stability, it could be like prosperity finally beginning to flow for you a little bit. I still feel like for some of you guys, there's going to be some healing work. There's always healing work taking place, you guys. So just like get with it. But I feel like you're going to be sort of succumbing to like the healing process. It's almost like you're on board with it. It's not swallowing you alive. You're kind of, I don't know, you're almost like on top of it this time. So what does your card say?
Okay, so anyone familiar with the tarot, the Hermit card came out. So this is going to be a year of period of self-reflection, a period of finding your own inner light. Healing or inner work is a really good time to do that sort of thing. Beware of isolating tendencies. That's where we can get into the negative aspects of this card. There's a reason that we can kind of be alone and be with ourselves and doing the things that we need to do to kind of align with ourselves. Sometimes we need to take that moment and take a step back from the rest of the world, crawl into our little turtle shell, figure things out on our own, and then emerge back into society. And a healthy amount of that is really good. But the downside can be when we allow that to go on too long, we risk slipping into isolation, depressive episodes, and things like that. So this is all about, retreating, taking a step back, aligning with mind values. And it's really a time of figuring out what's serving me and what's not. That's the cat.
The cats.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That makes so much sense. Okay, because I kind of saw like, how like when soil kind of like, I don't know if you've ever seen like a TV show where it like speeds up the development of like something springing to life.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
kind of saw like the soil almost splitting and kind of coming
Yeah,
out.
that's like the result of this
Yeah,
period of
so that
time
makes
for sure. This
sense.
is like a definitely it's kind of a hibernatory period where it's like let
Yeah.
me take this moment of hibernation and kind of
Hmm.
just refocus on what I need to
Yeah.
find within myself so I can move forward.
I think that's really good. So yeah, you guys, if you lean into this process, it can be very beneficial. But again, there's free will involved, so you can go kicking and screaming as well.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely. Every card has we use these words loosely, but
this
kind of a positive and
podcast,
negative end.
this
So
podcast is so long.
oh, is it
Yeah.
really? Oh,
Oh, it's fine.
okay.
It's totally
We're gonna
fine.
do the water signs
The water
next.
signs. Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah,
tune
so
into water signs.
Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio.
Ooh, I got an exciting energy for water. Um, I don't know why I got the image of like a super soaker. You know what I'm talking about? Like a water gun, like
Yeah.
just full of fun and like excitement, but also like it's refreshing. And I don't know about you guys, but like when we would play in the mud and stuff, like we would clean each other off with super soakers. So like obviously there's that cleansing quality to water, like everyone knows that. But I also feel like it could be exciting. You may find your passions and spirituality and emotions being refreshed. Maybe like you may actually be finding yourself, oh, okay, I'm getting a little bit more information. Okay, so in the ocean, there's different densities of water and they're layered upon each other. And I feel like you guys could actually be experiencing um, a whole different level of things when it comes to emotions and spirituality as well. Um, Keep in mind that water can be very gentle. It can also shape stone. So I'm not saying things won't be dynamic for you, but I feel like there's definitely going to be a fresh, what do we call it, leveling up, a fresh, I don't know. It's definitely growth, you guys, but I try not to be super general like
Vague,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I keep getting this image of like the layers in the water being different and moving on to a different level where there is more of a cleaner atmosphere. I feel like maybe you're going to be able to thrive in greater emotion, not greater emotions, more clean, lighter emotions and energy around you guys. What did you get with the
Okay,
card?
so that really aligns with the moon card is what came out for this.
Okay, cool.
So you're talking about seeing the like layers of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is like the layers and the sub layers of the subconscious mind,
Mm-hmm.
diving deep into this unknown, into this abyss, which is really the essence of the moon card. And when we do that, also you talked about kind of like this, kind of almost like a turning point or an initiation point, kind of
Mm-hmm.
moving forward, and that's definitely what the moon card is about too. It's climbing up out of the primordial abyss of your emotions, of your subconscious mind, of your core beliefs, climbing up out of that onto land and going towards the two pillars that are on this card. So it's going towards bigger and greater things. It's talking about an initiation point, really, is what it is. It's sifting through the subconscious thoughts, emotions, feelings, and moving into a higher consciousness, if I can use those kind of new age
Yeah, that's
terms
kind of
like
how I
that.
was seeing with the water. It's like going
Yes.
up. It's like cleaner almost. You're able to like. It's
Yeah.
not that it's not deep and dense, but at the same time, it's almost like you're able to perceive.
You can perceive better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, for sure. There, the negative aspect or the warning that comes with this card is that the moon can be very healing with the water and everything like that, like you were talking about. But you also talked
Mm,
about being a torrent, and we can
yeah,
kind of get carried away in that torrent, or even
yeah,
entranced and mesmerized by the moon as well. So, in the Hermit card, we talked about watching out for isolation. Here, it's watching out for false truths. It's watching out for things that this is the next new thing. This is the next right thing. It's like we
yeah,
have a tendency underneath the moon's energy to kind of push discernment away. Like, oh, this must be the right thing. It's like, no, no,
mm,
no. We really need to have discernment still in this time, even though a bunch of new things are going to be starting to come at us,
yeah,
and a bunch of emotions are going to start being worked out, and we're going to start understanding a lot of things. A lot of things are going to start being revealed, but understand that it is still nighttime. So we're
yeah,
not quite there yet. The sun hasn't come out yet. We do see by the light of the moon, and we can count on her to kind of journey us forward in this initiation state. But we understand that it is still dark out. So we need to have our
Yeah.
wits about us, and we need to kind of take caution. Even in this time, we want to try to take caution to the wind. It's still a time.
Also, I keep
Yeah,
being Spirit keeps showing me this water gun reference, and they're
yeah,
saying use the tools you have.
that's a good
Use the
message.
tools you have
Yeah,
to get through this year for
right.
sure. So that makes sense. And when I say tools, I don't mean like literally a water gun. I mean like the spiritual tools that you guys,
Yeah.
the emotional coping tools that you guys have. Don't forget to use what you have.
Yeah. Now, I'm no astrologer, but I would venture to say that this year is probably going to be a pretty influential year for Cancers, honestly,
Hmm.
because this being the moon card, moon being Cancer's ruler. So,
Oh, interesting. Okay,
yeah. And
cool.
the moon coming out on the water sign cards in general with the moon and the connections to the water and everything is pretty interesting.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
probably going to be a powerful year for them in whatever they're doing.
Wow. Okay, awesome. Alrighty then. Okay, what sign are we doing next?
Okay, we're doing the fire signs. This is Leo, Aries, and Sag. So these are our signs.
These are our signs, yeah.
Oof, I don't know why.
Oh, wait, I'm supposed to be getting a message. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know why I just got like a card dropped into my mind. So that'll be
Stop.
wild if it comes out.
Stop. Okay.
I won't flip it over this time.
Do you know what came to my mind?
What?
Earlier we were talking about fire refining things.
Yeah.
I would just like to make it very clear to the universe. I have one fire sign in my entire chart.
Okay.
Don't come for me, but I saw gold being refined. I don't even know if fire can do that. You may have to heat it to a certain level, but I'm just saying, like, symbolically, I saw gold being refined, and it's not that whatever you start with isn't valuable and doesn't have worth to it. It can become better. It can be transformed. It can become more pure. And I feel like this might be a purifying year for some people.
Oh, wow.
I feel like it could be, like rocks under pressure turn to diamonds. I feel like it could be a year like that. But it doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be hard. It just means that there could be moments that are dynamic and passionate. And so if you're aware that, hey, you're going to be going through a lot of this stuff, maybe you won't be so caught off guard. So for this year, I feel like it could be, again, transformational. Honestly, like everyone's going to have a transformational year because hopefully you're not the same person you are 12 months from now. But it's particularly, there could be some passion and dynamic things going on. Could be seeing some endings to certain things going on, and could be also seeing things, spark into life. So no pun intended with the spark, but yeah. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. I feel like it would definitely be part of this message that's coming through is kind of like a refining of your vision of yourself, like who you are, who do you want to be, and where do you go from there. So anyways, what did you get?
Okay, so I've got the Two of Cups. Now this is a minor card, so this tells me that unlike the earth signs and the water signs, the fire signs really have this year kind of not sitting in the palm of their hand, but they're not so much underneath an influence like the other two signs are. The major arcana are typically these big universal influences, and this year free will is going to play a lot into the fire signs. So the fire signs are really going to make this year what they choose to. I'm getting Two of Cups. This is relationships. This isn't just romantic relationships. This is any type of partnership. This could be siblings. This could be family relationships, new and old. And you talked about kind of this refining year of releasing and letting go. This could be a year,
and also things letting go and things sparking to life.
Exactly. This could be a year where we're new relationships are coming in, and also they're going away. And so the best way to work with this energy is to allow that to happen. Best thing ever told to me about relationships was some people are here for a reason and some for a season. Yeah. I absolutely love that. Did you tell me that?
I don't know. I've heard it though many a times.
Oh yeah, I love that one. So yeah, that's kind of the energy that I'm getting with this. It could be also about choices, needing to make a choice on what it is that you want to do. Not career wise, but just like in general. Could be things that are more closer to your heart, like hobbies, people, interests associating with the same types of groups of people and things like that as well. So Really, this is like, to me, it's like a decision year almost. It's
Yeah.
also a forming of connections year, all types of connections,
Yeah.
and just be aware of those connections and release any of them that are no longer healing and serving. And if I
Yeah.
can use those kind of no longer serving you terms, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I know. So
Um,
every time we turn around, we're no longer serving something.
yeah, right, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
That makes a lot of sense.
maybe this is your year for relationships. Who knows?
Who knows? Could be. Definitely just make sure that you guys are aware. Again, like you said, there is that whole theme of what do you want? Who do you want to be? Kind
Right.
of thing. And sometimes the universe does give us those dynamic situations to help us figure that out.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, something just popped in
spill.
in terms of free will. This is also a year for understanding that you are not obligated to anyone for any reason to stay in any type of relationship.
Amen. Let
Yeah.
it burn, honey.
Yeah, so that kind of just popped in. It's very much like, if it's time for you to leave, then you need to pick up your stuff and leave.
One of my favorite quotes just came to mind when I
What?
said let it burn. I hope I don't butcher this. May the bridges I burn light the way.
Yeah, sometimes you just,
Sometimes.
Hey, us fire signs, we're good at burning shit behind us.
Yeah.
So
No, really, I've written a song about that before. It was like strike the match and watch it, like let it fall.
Yeah.
Watch it drop.
Sometimes
you have to.
Yeah.
Burn it down.
Burn it. All right, air signs. So Libra, Aquarius.
What's the other one? Gemini?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Geminis.
I know. I love some and then I hate some.
You and Geminis get along pretty good.
I was just kidding. I love them all.
One of my ex-boyfriends was a Gemini.
Okay, so not all of them. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
I'm sorry. That ex-mentor I told you about is a Gemini. Which makes sense as to why they hate me, so.
Okay.
That's a joke. No one hates you guys. I'm just being petty.
Okay, air signs, it's time to, this is very, very simple. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something and you need to go after it. You actually need to put the effort in. You've spent all last year trying to decide what you want to do, make some sort of choice, reach for something, strive for something further. I know that you were supposed to go. So
it's fine. Keep going. It's fine.
But now is the time to actually get up, pack your stuff, and go for your dreams. Like, it's time to start going. I know that sounds cliche, but the card I have right here is the Three of Wands. And he's standing in the present. He has one hand on the future and the past is behind him. And those are the three wands. And he's standing in a red cloak. He's got his personal power. The card is beautiful and yellow. It looks like the sunrise on a new day. You've already made the decision and you need to go after it now. So any dreams that you guys are having, anything that is kind of crossing your mind, like, I feel like I could do this. I have a new passion. I kind of want to go after this. I kind of want to do this. And I call them candle blower outers. Don't associate with people who, when you tell them, hey, I think I want to do this, and they're like, you know, that doesn't really seem like it would suit you. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are candle blower outers, like, don't gotta let those people go. Don't listen to those people. In fact, maybe be a little, I'm getting the message, just being a little bit more silent about your stuff and just kind of silently picking your stuff up and going. Mm-hmm. Maybe not even telling people immediately, but just already getting on that path and just start walking. Just go, just do it. And don't allow, I know you air signs like to overthink a lot and overanalyze. I know that's my moon sign. I'm an Aquarius. So there's a lot of over-intellectualizing and this, I don't know, maybe I should back and forth. No, like, it is an action time. So you already know the answer. It's in your gut. You just have to do it. And even if it's crazy stuff, even if it's like, shit, I'm going to learn to paint, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, like, whatever it is, don't overthink it and just go for it.
So the image that came to my mind goes perfectly with all of that.
Okay.
I literally saw, like, the element of air.
Yeah.
Like it looked like a tornado or like a vortex of some sort, like just materializing, coming down and touching the ground, and and a right foot stepping out. That's right. Materializing. Yep. And this has to do with power out, walking into your power, moving into your future. And I also saw a leaf kind of floating with grace, but also cutting through the nonsense.
Yep.
And I feel like honestly, there's really nothing to say after all of that, but This is definitely a year about taking that step, doing it with grace, but cutting through the nonsense, not being afraid, and really bringing things into the physical and coming down out of the mental realms and kind of manifesting what you want.
Yep.
Like moving towards what you want to move towards you, but like, like making it happen.
Yeah, there's definitely an element of grounded energy that we need for our air signs. You've kind of spent, last year head in the clouds trying to make these mental decisions and things, but it's time. It's not time to go back and forth anymore. It's time to move. So we need to get a little bit of fire energy as well and get our stuff and go. So yeah, all of those images lined up perfectly with that card. That's exactly what it means.
Hey. All right, you guys. Well, we are well over an hour at this podcast.
Hope y'all enjoyed those collective
Yeah,
readings.
I hope you. I had so much fun listening to you. Also, I don't think I've ever seen that last card pop up in a reading before.
Okay, so the Three of Wands doesn't come out a lot.
That's so weird, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that card. Anyways.
It's super simple. It's no deep meaning. It literally means follow your dreams.
Wonderful. The way I would read it is I would look at the card and ask Spirit to highlight the messages and give it to me, particularly for that person. So, even if I did remember that, there would be more stuff going on. Anyways, okay. I'm feeling the tired set in. Love you guys so much. What do we normally say at this point? Oh, to book a reading with Lux, feel free to go to luxintuitivetherapy.com.
Yep, that's it.
And then if you need to get a hold of me for any of my services, listen, guys, we offer a lot of services, okay? Psychic mediumship, past life readings, life contracts, autographs, intuitive tarot, criminal investigations of missing persons, paranormal consultations, cleansing and clearings, professional witchcraft, whatever you desire, we can do it for you. Numerology.
Yep.
We can do it. So feel free to reach out. You can go to Lux's website, luxintuitivetherapy.com, or you can go to christianwitchhtx.com to look at any of our services or to, get more information about the Academy. And if you guys just want us to refer you out to someone else, maybe that we find reputable, feel free to reach out and ask. If you're like, hey, love you guys, but I've gotten the last 10 readings from y'all and I want to try something different. Whatever, we can totally and happily refer you to someone else. So feel free to reach out. I am wiped out. So we're going to end it here. Love you guys. We'll see you next time.
See ya.